this time we'll spend will be a time of learning, a time of inspiration, and a time of transformation. Lord, we ask that our lives will not remain the same, but you will transform us through the knowledge that you give to us today. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, let's go. So let's fill this together. So what I'm going to do is just to guide you. So there are 26 questions that you need to answer. And what I will do is to take each of the questions, just explain few things, and then we'll begin to learn. So question 1. Do you know your present financial condition or net worth? Do you know your present financial condition or net worth? What does that mean? Do you know exactly how much you are worth as an individual? Do you know how much you are worth as an individual? If I'm to ask you now, what is your financial worth? What is your net worth? Do you know? There are 3 possible answers. Yes, no, or I don't know. Yes, no, or I don't know. Number 2, are you with your present financial condition? I can answer that one for everybody. All of us have the same answer. So are you satisfied with your present financial condition? Yes, no, or I don't know. Number 3, are you aware of simple ways to increase your net worth? That means if you are to increase your net worth right now, do you know what to do? Are you aware of the things you can do? You may not be doing it, but are you aware of the things you can do to increase your net worth? Yes, no, or I don't know. Number 4, do you have enough savings to see you through 6 months of normal living expenses if you lose your job? Do you have enough savings? Now, in the world of financial management, we say to people that you need to have between 6 to 8 months of your living expenses saved up in cash. So let's say you need $5,000 a month. That means you need 5,000 times 6 or 5,000 times 8 available in cash. Why? So that when life happens, when you lose your job, when eventualities happen, when things happen that are beyond your control, you will still be able to live in the same quality of life for 6 months while you are reinventing and reorganizing yourself. And for many, many years, as we began to share this, a lot of people will say, oh, it's not realistic. Oh, how do you expect me to have that kind of savings? But when COVID hit, a lot of people suddenly realized that life can happen. But you need to understand that while COVID was a global thought, there are a lot of people that have faced their own personal pandemic at different points in their lives. I know of people, not 1, not 2, not 3, where both the husband and the wife lost their job the same day. I know of couples where the husband and the wife lost the job the same week. And most of the time, I'm a pastor and I've been in the church for like 38 years. By October, I'll be celebrating 35 years in ministry. But I can tell you for free that religion is more dangerous than the devil. Religion has ruined the lives of many people, destroyed the lives of many people. But you need to understand that Christianity is not a religion. It's a relationship with your Creator. When you practice Christianity as a religion, you become a pawn in the hand of charlatans. When you practice Christianity as a religion, you become a victim of the religious interpretation of scriptures of people. So this question says, do you have enough savings to see you through 6 months of normal living, especially if you lose your job? And religion will tell you, God forbid. And because a lot of people have this, you're welcome, sirs. And because a lot of people have that mindset of God forbid, they don't prepare for a lot of things that they're supposed to prepare for. God forbid, but life permits. There are a lot of things that God has forbidden that your attitude, your lifestyle, and your actions have permitted. And if you don't save, you are not safe. We're going to get back to that. So number 5. Number 5, do you save money on a regular basis? 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 If you don't save, you are not safe. What you save today will save you tomorrow. Savings is not optional. And let me help you understand why. Now listen to this. Every money you are going to make in your lifetime will not be paid to you once. Every money you're going to make in your lifetime will not be paid to you once. If you're going to work for 30 years, you're going to work for 35 years, all the money you're going to earn for 35 years will not be paid to you once. It's going to be paid to you periodically as an income or a salary. Now, money is tripartite. Money is a spirit. Money has a soul. Money lives in a body. Money has a past. Money has a present. Money has a future. So every time money comes into your hand, so when you earn your salary weekly, bi-monthly or monthly, or you do business and you earn an income, every time you collect that salary, the money they are supposed to pay you in your lifetime is what they are paying you monthly. So that means inside that money, your past is inside, your present is inside, and your future is inside. So if you don't activate the tripartite dimension of that money, you are not going to be able to enter into wealth. So when you earn that money, a portion of that money belongs to your past to take care of the bills that you have already incurred. A portion of that money belongs to your present to take care of your ongoing obligation. A portion of that money belongs to your future. That's why you need to save. Why? If you don't save, you are eating your future. And there is no witchcraft greater than that one. Eating your future. Hello? Why? Because you see, let's think of it this way. If you eat tomorrow's food today and you enter tomorrow, you are going to be hungry because there will be no food to eat. Now, when you say future, please listen. There is nothing called future. The future is a concept. The future is an ideology. I hope you know that today is yesterday's future. So 10 years ago, you said your future is bright. 10 years later, how far? So, my future is bright. You don't have a bright future. It's not a cause. Nobody has a bright future. You only have the future you create. So if you create a bright future, you will have a bright future. Because the future you create is the future you inhabit. So let me try and help you so that I can help some of you that are thinking Bible. Are you ready now? Okay, so where is the throne of God? The heaven is his throne. Where is the footstool of God? The earth. Who created heaven? God. Who created earth? So the heaven he created is where his throne is. The earth he created is where he put his foot. So if you don't create the future, you won't have a future. That's why you need to save. So every time you have money, say, hey, I cannot afford not to save. You are just eating your future. You will enter the future and discover you don't have a future. So you cannot afford not to save. It's not negotiable. I was speaking in New York years ago, and I was talking about this same concept of savings. And this lady was just like, excuse me, sir, you see, you don't understand. We've got to pay bills. We've got to pay bills. I don't know how you guys do it in Africa, but, we've got to pay bills. It's not easy to. And she kept going on and on about bills and bills and bills. Because as far as she was concerned, because of the bills she needed to pay, she cannot afford to save and have 6 months. And all. I said, okay, no problem. So I asked a simple question. I said, if the government introduces a new bill, or the bills you are paying increases, and you need to pay $100 extra as a bill every month, what will you do? I'm just going to find a way to pay the bills, man. I'm just going to find a way to pay the bills, man. I say, okay. So what I will advise you now is, let your savings become a bill that you pay to your future. Let your savings become the bill that you pay to your future. And then say, I got you, I got you, I got you. She got it. Because if you have a bill paying mentality, just believe in that mentality and readjust it to say, I'm owing my future money. And then you pay your future the money that belongs to the future. So let's move to the next one. Number 6 looks like number 5, but they are not the same. Number 6 says, have you formed the habit of savings? Have you formed the habit of savings? Wale, please, can you get this for the, yeah. Have you formed the habit of savings? Now, the difference between number 5 and 6 is that number 6 is saying, has it become habitual? Number 6 is saying, have you come into a place where you have come into what we call unconscious competence. I don't know if you know, when you started driving, you have to start thinking of whether you have to, you think before you engage the gear. You are thinking, you are mentally engaged in all the process of driving. But after a while, what happens? You can drive and be talking and be doing other things because you have come into a place of unconscious competence. Now, because of technology, you can automate your savings. And every month, as money comes into this account, there can be a percentage of that money going into a savings account. And then you can automate yourself, so it becomes an habit. In 1997, when I came in contact with the understanding of wealth, and by 1998, I wanted to start the journey to wealth. And one of the things I did was to host a 5-day event in our church. I had a family meeting. I called my parents, called all my siblings, and I told them I've discovered the way out of poverty, and I want to start the journey. All of you must be in this meeting. None of you must miss the meeting. And then I told the church, I said, I'm going to be hosting a meeting for 5 days. If you miss that meeting, you're on your own. Well, everybody must be, because I have discovered things that I have not seen before. And I want to share it with you people, because I'm about to start a journey. And when I start this journey, I'm confident of the fact that this journey will produce. And I will be enjoying in the future. None of you should blame me. So one of the things I did was to do this meeting. It was called Activating Generational Blessings. So we started on a Wednesday and ended on Sunday. And one of the things I did was to deal with religion. Why? Because all my life as a Christian, I had been told that I needed to tithe, and I've been tithing, and I was still poor. So I knew that something was wrong in the concepts that I was taught. Why? Because I did it because I was told. I didn't study it for myself. So I went to study, and I realized that tithing is a valid covenant obligation that every believer must live by, especially if you're a kingdom person. But I also now discovered that savings and investment is as valid as tithing. As valid as tithing. So I now started wondering, why do we talk about 10% and we don't tell people what to do with the remaining 90%? We focus on the 10. So you are focusing on bringing 10%, you leave them with 90, and you don't teach them what to do with the 90. And by their financial illiteracy and financial irresponsibility, they mess up the 90, and then they turn around to blame you. That is the 10 that you collected that made them to be poor. So I told my church members in 1998, I said, from today, anytime you are putting anything in the envelope, in those days there was no electronic banking. Anytime you put anything and you call it tithe, before you bring it to this church, be sure you have done another 10% into an account called savings account. I said, because you can tithe from today to tomorrow, you will still be poor. Hello? I said, so when you are tithing, you should also be saving. Many of you listening to me right now, if you're a Christian, do you know how much money you have put in church called tithe? 10%. But you put nothing in your future. And now the future is here now, there is no future. And now you are now blaming the church. Oh, this church, they have to have money. No. Hello? So you need to save. Somebody say, I need to save. Let's move on. Number 7. Those of you that are just joining us, I hope you register. We're in session 1. The first session is financial diagnosis session. We're trying to answer 26 questions. And you mark your script by yourself and take it home. Nobody's collecting it. Number 7. Do you have a well-defined and documented financial goals? Do you have a well-defined and documented financial goals? Can you show me a book, a folder, a file where you have a list of your financial goals documented, that these are my goals for the next 5 years, my goals for the next 10 years? Do you have a well-defined and documented financial goals? I'm not saying I want to make more money. Oh, God bless me. No, those are not, no. I'm talking of documented financial goals. Yes, no, or I don't know. Number 8, do you have a bank account? Or somebody is using your head, or you are using somebody's head. And then your name is Jane and your account is Johnson. And then you are working, somebody else is collecting the salary. Hello? Do you reconcile your bank statements every month? Or you just assume that banks don't steal? Do you reconcile your bank statements every month? Number 10, do you keep record of your income and your expenditure? Do you keep record of your income and your expenditure? Once your expenditure is greater than your income, your upkeep will become your downfall. So do you have a record of all your income? So do you know where money is coming from? Do you have a record of all your expenditure? I can show you in paper and biro, in black and white, all the money that has come into my life since 1997 to date. Every money that has left my hand from 1997, I can show you. Hello? So do you have a record of your income? Do you know where money is coming from? Because many of you are wasting time on unproductive things because you didn't even realize that they were not producing. Hello? You didn't realize they were not producing. As a financial consultant, sometimes I deal with organizations and I try to help them see things. And sometimes by the time we are done with data and facts, they're like, how come we didn't know this? I say, because you were not willing to do the hard work to know it. I did a job for a company last year. And sometimes, if you just understand some of the laws that governs life, it's not, 1 plus 1 equals to 2. You don't, anywhere you go in the world, 2 plus 2 is equals to 4. And this organization have been priding themselves in the fact that they are doing a massive turnover every year. And they wanted to increase they tried to increase the turnover, it was not increasing. They tried to increase it was not increasing. And so they brought me in to come and check what's happening. And I said, the only way we can increase your turnover is to find out where the money is coming from in the first place. So that one you made, where did it come from? Customer. I said, no, don't say customer. What percentage of each of those line items comes from different customers? Guess what? By the time we did the research, we realized that 2 of their customers brought in over 60% of their turnover. 2 customers. That means if those 2 people leave that company, the company is shutting down. It's not village people. I said, what? Only 2 people. I said, you are not running a business here. I said, these guys can hold your neck and shut you down. I said, the only good thing you have now is that they don't know that they are that powerful. I said, and they must not know. So we need to start looking for alternatives to these people. I said, because if one of them or both of them goes, that's the end. And they're like, we didn't realize that. I said, because you are not doing the work. The fact that you have an account officer does not have somebody that understands accounting. There are people that are into accounting and finance. They can look at the books and tell you the next 5 years what will happen by virtue of these things you are doing. So do you keep record of your income and expenditure? I know where my money is coming from. There are things I do just for charity's sake. I know that this one is charity. I know where my money is coming from. So every year, I just identify that, okay, this was bringing the money. So next year, I focus more on that. I make more money, then I have more time. So people wonder, how are you doing all the things you are doing? I already know what's bringing money. I spend time doing what's bringing. When I get the money, I relax. Very important. Next, do you know how much you spend, especially every month? Do you know how much you spend every month? Do you know how much you spend every month? Because many of us just keep spending, we keep spending. So do you know how much you spend every month? Number 12, do you spend less than you earn? Do you spend less than you earn? Or you just keep spending? Many of us came from a system where we came from a cash economy into a credit economy. And then we did not understand how the credit economy works. So many of us messed up our credit. And there are people now that are just spending money, buying things that they don't need. There are many things I still don't understand. Maybe as I grow, I will understand. I don't understand why you will buy clothes or shoes or jewelry or stuff and you have not finished paying and you are wearing it. I don't understand. I don't understand why you'll be wearing a shoe that you have not finished paying for and you don't realize that something is wrong with you. I don't understand. Because many of you behave as if you are normal, but you are not normal. It can't be normal behavior for you to go to the market and buy something that you are not finished paying for and then you wear it and you are moving around as if you are normal. No, you are not. You are not. I can guarantee you, you are not. You think you are not. You need to be diagnosed. That's why we're doing what we're diagnosing you now. Hello? So, do you spend less than you earn or you spend more than you earn? There is no way you can create wealth if you spend more than you earn. It's not possible. You have to spend less than you earn so that you can take part of what you earn to create the future that you want. And then you see people and I'm like, what's wrong with you? You are fixing eyelashes, you are fixing nails, you are fixing hair, you are not fixing your finances. You are going to the gym. Fixing the body, six-pack. You don't have six-figure. Bearded gang. You can't pay rent. You can't pay bills. It's time to think deep about this thing. Number 13. Do you have a household budget? Do you have a household budget and are you successful at managing it? Do you have a household budget and are you successful at managing it, or anything goes? Do you have a household budget and are you successful at managing it? You need to know exactly what the bills are so that you know the disposable income that you have. You know the investable income that you have. So do you have a household budget? And is everyone aware of the budget? Not that you have the budget in your head. I'm talking about documented budget where everybody sits down and says, okay, this is what we have available, this and that. So you need to decide that. Every family, there is no one size fits all. But every family should identify what works for them and work with it. 14. Do you avoid major credit purchases? Buy now, pay later. Buy now, pay nothing till 2025. It's amazing that you spend money, the furniture in your house, finance. All the electronics, finance. And you're not at home to watch the TV. You are locked up in one job or the other. When last did you sit down on that sofa, sit down to really enjoy what you paid for that you are paying small? So do you avoid major credit purchases? There is good debt and there is bad debt. Good debt is a bondage. Bad debt is a leverage. One of the things I'm going to share with you in the next session, just as part of the foundation for the next session, will be to understand your economic environment. It's very, very important for you as an individual to understand your economic environment. So once you move into an environment, you need to understand what that economic environment is all about, so that you'll be able to know how to navigate your way in that environment. When you come into the Western world, number one is a capitalist environment, and number two, it's a credit environment. So you need to know how to play the game of money in that environment in order to become wealthy. Because many of us don't realize that once you move from one place to the other, you need to understand all those things. We'll deal with that. So when we talk about credit purchases, there are people that understand the system and they use credit as a leverage. They understand the power of using other people's money to create wealth. But some people don't know and they use it to acquire more liabilities and mess up their credit. And when you are in a credit society, you need to understand the power of your credit score, the power of having a good credit and how it can help you. 15. Do you take advantage of all the savings and investment opportunities that come your way? Do you take advantage of all the savings and investment opportunities that come your way? The word POUR is an acronym for passing over opportunities repeatedly. Passing over opportunities repeatedly. Now let's think about it. Looking into this all right now, I'm not seeing anybody here that is up to 100 years old. So that means before you were born, there has been savings accounts. Before you were born, there have been fixed deposits. Before you were born, there have been real estate. You have not done any of them, but you want to do crypto. You want to do forex. And then they kryptonize your life. And then you are now blaming people. Why? Because all the opportunities to create wealth have been there. My mom will always say, if you say you will close your eyes for evil people to pass by, good people too will pass by, you will not see. So there are a lot of opportunities in our world. But because many of us have been betrayed, we've been disappointed, we've lost money, we've come into a place of what we call in psychology, learned helplessness. Where you now conclude that everybody is fake. You conclude every opportunity is fake. And then you make statements that if you think about it, you will see that it's a stupid statement. I don't trust anybody. Don't make those kind of stupid statements. It's a stupid statement. Stupid in capital. I don't trust anybody. You cannot live in this world without trust. I was in a conference in Dallas last weekend. In one of the breakout sessions, where the discussion was around this issue of trust. And one of the guys was talking about an experience he had where he was on the plane, and the person sitting next to him was now asking, what do you do? So he told him what. He said, oh, no. And they said, no, I don't trust anybody. And then he looked at him and said, what did you say? He said, I don't trust anybody. He said he didn't know when he came out there, you must be a fool. He said, look through the window. We are 38,000 feet above sea level. Do you know the pilot? Is he your sister? Is he your brother? Is he your cousin? Do you know whether he has a license? How can you make a statement that you don't trust anybody and you enter the plane driven by? Because we make those statements out of our pain and what we have experienced, which is real and valid. But you don't make those kind of things. You can't live without trust. You can't. You have bank account. Do you know the owner of the bank? You don't trust anybody. Yet you went to open an account and you kept your money there. You don't trust anybody. You book Uber, enter. Are you sure it's not a kidnapper? You don't trust anybody. Hello? You went to the restaurant, you bought food, you ate food, you don't know who cooked it, and you don't trust anybody. Tell your neighbors, they don't make that statement again. So opportunities are all around you. Do you take advantage of them? Number 16. Do you have any investment that helps you to reduce your taxable income? Do you have any investment that helps you to reduce your taxable income? One of the things we're going to also try to touch in the next session will be on understanding that it's still about understanding your economic environment. When you are in what we call a capitalist environment, capitalism is built for entrepreneurs and investors. So if you're in a capitalist environment and you're a salary earner, you are not operating in wisdom. That's why I laugh when many of you, I'm going to do I got to pay bills. I'm going to my second job. I do 2, 3, 4 jobs. And you're so proud about the 3 jobs. And you don't know you're in bondage. How can you be doing 2, 3 jobs and you are proud about it? As if, you might, that's hard work, but it's not smart work. Because you're in a capitalist system. Even if you do 5 jobs, you will still not make it. Because in the capitalist system, it has been programmed to collect the money back from you. You make it, they collect it. The more you make, the more they collect. That's the way it is. Well, because you don't understand. And then when they are trying to push you into entrepreneurship and push you into things that will help you, you don't get it. Hello? I don't know if you heard what Donald Trump did recently. His ex-wife died. A woman that they have divorced for almost 20 years. The woman died, and Donald Trump went to the family of the woman that they should give him the dead body, the corpse of the woman. So, she's our daughter. You can't have the corpse. For what? You guys are divorced. Say, oh, please, okay. It's okay. I will pay you. No, true lives. And they paid them millions. He paid millions to collect the corpse. But they didn't know what he was planning. So he carried the corpse and went to bury the woman in a multi-million-dollar real estate property that he has. Because he understands something that they don't understand. Once he buries the woman there, the land becomes a cemetery. No tax forever. Yeah, no tax forever. So there are people, you see, when he was president, how much tax did he pay? Many of you paid more tax than he did. And you don't have the kind of money that he has. Because you don't know that there's a difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion. So if you don't understand how to avoid taxes, you will just be laboring. And then you say it's village people. Number 17, do you diversify your investments? Do you diversify your investments? Do you diversify your investments? Like I said at the beginning, I'm going to use the 26 questions to try to help you think, just to juggle your mind. So let me deal with something here also. When we talk about diversifying investments, one of the statements, please note this. There are people that are gatekeepers and what we call influencers today. There are people that have been involved in influencing and shaping thoughts and behaviors and culture for decades. And they have different platforms they used to do that. The media is one of such platforms. I don't know if you have ever realized that every time you go onto the news and you check every channel, they are all saying the same thing. Who feeds them? Go to the newspaper stand tomorrow, pick all the newspapers. They are all saying the same thing. They all have the same headline and they are not owned by the same person. So who gives them the news? There are powers behind the scene that influences what is being pushed out to shape the thoughts and the minds of people. And there are many information they will not want you to have because once you have it, you begin to fight. That's why they have to keep you at that level. That's why it's difficult for many of you to go and start a business of your own. You were the first staff in a company with you as the first staff. 13 years later, the company has become a conglomerate. You were there. And you still don't think you can start your own. Hello? So, diversifying your investment. Listen to this. You will hear things like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. How many of you have heard that before? So let's break it down. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. What belongs to you in that statement? Eggs. The only thing that your egg, that's the only thing that belongs to you. What they have done is to program you to think of egg. But they say don't put it in one basket. Who is the owner of the basket? You are not thinking basket, you are always thinking egg. But the rich people don't do egg, they do basket. They create a basket, all of you come and put your egg inside and they become wealthy. But that's where they program your mind. But if you read the Bible and you understand some of this, now let me show you the equivalent of that in scripture. Because sometimes when you come to church and we are hearing this, are you ready for this? Seest thou a man diligent in his business? What will happen to him? He will sit before kings and not ordinary men. So who are the kings? So every time you hear that, oh, I want to be diligent. Why are you not the king that people have been diligent? Why are you not the king that people will be diligent to come and meet you? You are working so that you can go and meet one king that doesn't know your God, but is on the throne, and you go and bow to him. The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. Hello. Which wealth did wicked people create? You are now looking for the wealth of the wicked people. When the creator of the whole world is your father that can give you the wealth of the world, you are now pursuing the wealth of somebody that is wicked. It's programming. Hello. Number 18. Are you satisfied with the contribution from your investment into your total income? So when you invest, there's what we call assets and there's what we call cash flow producing assets. So do you have cash flow producing assets? And are those assets producing cash flow for you? And are you satisfied with the cash flow from that? Because there are many things we cannot touch, but when you say somebody is financially free, when you talk about financial freedom, what financial freedom simply means is that you have enough cash flow from all your assets that is enough to take care of you and as many people as you want to take care of. That's what we really mean when you say you're financially free. And that's that. So, next, number 19. Do you feel you have a brilliant financial advisor or team of advisors? This is another problem. Poor people always counseling poor people. Hello? So please, I don't believe that you left your work, your house, or whatever you are doing to come here to joke around. I'm not here to waste your time, and I don't think you should also waste your time. Please answer the question. If you need to make a financial decision today, who will you call? Who will you call? Many of you don't have anybody. You just call your friend that is as poor as you, that is as confused as you. Say, me too, I don't know. Let's Google it. And then you are Googling your life and Googling away. And you have forgotten that garbage in, garbage out. Google is not infallible. There are people that want to put information in Google that you are now looking at. There are people that are professional doctors on Google without going to medical school. Hello? So who are your financial advisors? One of the things you need are mentors. Someone say mentors. I run a mentorship platform which we're going to introduce to you for those of you that are willing to do that. And I can tell you for free. One of the reasons why I did that is because I realized that the higher you go, the fewer the people that can speak into your life. And I realized that for a lot of people that are Christians, over 90% of people behind the pulpit are spiritual, but they are not financially intelligent. So your pastor can teach you Bible, pray for you to be healed. But when it comes to money, he himself doesn't know. And because I'm a pastor and I'll be privileged to know, I realized that I needed to help the church. Because there are business people in church that are doing well in their business, but they can do better. And when they need financial counseling, they go to unbelievers. They go to people that will not tell them, and then they will now introduce them to different occultic groups, different platforms, different cliques. So if you need financial advice now, who will you call? Do you have people you can call that are not going to be threatened by the figures? Hello? They are not going to be threatened by, can you call somebody now and be talking about $40 million deal? And they won't be looking at say, 40 million. And they'll be planning for your money. So who are they? So you need to begin to think. And let me tell you something. The people that have the information to help you in that regard, they are not easily accessible and available. So when they make themselves available, you better be ready to pay. Because I've seen people that think that it is expensive to have access to quality information until they are in trouble. There are people that didn't think it was important to get a lawyer involved in reading a document until trouble came. Do you know how many of you have signed away your destiny in insurance until you became sick and they say, no, it's not covered. That's not covered in the policy. You know, they read the fine print and they say, well, but you have given it to, like, do you know how many things you are clicking? I agree. Most of those I agree that you do on social media, they are like 36 pages, 48 pages, 130 pages. Tiny thing that by the time you get to pay 30, you are tired. I agree. It's the day you get into trouble that you will now know. You bought ticket, you agreed. Do you know what you agreed to? If they lose all your luggage, the highest they will pay you is $400. That's part of what you agreed to when you are buying that thing. That's why they tell you, do you want insurance? They say insurance $50 extra. I say, I don't want insurance. I don't want travel insurance. Then you because you have traveled for so long, you have never lost anything. Until the day you will now lose something. And then you realize that it's only $400 you will get. You say that's the IATA law. You know, it's the IATA policy. It's a global policy. I wish I could. Number 20, do you feel you have sufficient life insurance coverage? Do you feel you have sufficient life insurance coverage? Let me say, there are many things I will just draw for you to go and do your research. There are a lot of insurance fraud going on right now. It's a global fraud. And don't believe me, but believe me. Now, insurance is not an investment. So let me just tell you that insurance is not an investment. So beware of all these people. Insurance is simply a security against eventualities. So insurance is free money. I insure my car so that if accident come, I'm covered. If there's no accident, I've lost the money. But because people know that people don't want to lose money, they have started coming up with some skill. They say, no, this one is insurance, you are saving. Insurance is not an investment. Just do your insurance. And like we say in Nigeria, Bojukuro, take your eyes off it. The money is gone. Just pay so that if there's trouble, fine. If there's no trouble, fine. Don't be thinking that you will now be adding something that after 1 year, after 10 years, after this year. Well, like I said, believe me, don't believe. So let's talk about insurance. So years ago, I have a friend who'll be friends for years. One of my friends here will be friends for almost 40 years. I have a friend also who'll be friends for over 30 years. And I go into his house in the US years ago, maybe about 15 years ago. I get in there, was staying with them, And that was not the first time of staying there. But this time, the wife called me and said, man of God, I'd like to see you. I said, yeah. He said, no, it's me and you. I don't want your friend to hear. I said, okay. So we went. Say, please, I know that he listens to you. I know that he listens to you. Please, talk to him. Do you know we don't have insurance? He doesn't have life insurance. Hey, look at children. And in Yoruba, there's Omola Bikale. You know, these are children we have now. That, you know, the guy doesn't have life insurance. What if anything happens? And when she was saying it, I kept wondering. So when she was done, I now asked a simple question. Do you have life insurance? Because I don't know where you women get the idea from that is the man that will die first. I still don't understand. So I said, do you have life insurance? Then she kept quiet. Is it that there's something you are putting in our food that will make us die before you? I don't understand. Why should I have life insurance and you don't have? Because somewhere in your subconscious mind, even to insurance, you want me to be insured so that I can die for you to eat. So she was like, I said, my sister, if you want life insurance in this family, all of you go and insure yourself. So that if you die, each two will have something to eat. Why is it only men? Hello? So do you have life insurance? Or God is in control? I shall not die but live. Do you know how many people have died that we have to be doing GoFundMe for their burial? Do you know how many pastors have died? And let me tell you something. I've been around though. People that have labored, they die. People will just come around you. A meeting took place. One of our friends lost his mom, and my wife went to represent me. And when we were talking last week, she said, that I met this person's wife. She also came for the meeting. I said, how is she doing? And I'm like, when we draw, I say, God, how are we going to do this thing? This man is dead. He's supposed to be our friend. All of us have gone for burial. We have given money. But nobody is thinking of how the wife and the children are doing now because everybody is busy with their own life. So I was like, what do I do? I was just thinking. But I now realized that in the course of my lifetime, there are many people that have died like that. So how many one will you carry? When even your own family, people are dying and leaving children. Do you understand? So life insurance is very important. Very, very important. Please. Life insurance does not kill. It doesn't mean you are going to die. Number 21. Do you have a plan for your children's college and university education? Do you have a plan for your children's college and university education? Do you have, money prepared for that? Let me say about 3 things here. Many of you are in systems where you have child benefits, money is paid for your children, and you still eat the money. I don't understand. If the government is paying you child benefit, child support, child whatever opportunities you have because of where you are living in, open an account for the children. And be putting the money there and be adding money to it. So that by the time they are 18, something will be there. Number 2, student loan is one of the most dangerous loans in the world. Because it's one of the loans that are not forgiven. And please listen. If you understand the way the system works, I think 2 years ago, one of the richest black men in the U.S. went to speak as a keynote speaker in the university in the U.S. and decided to pay off the student loan of everybody. Millions, he paid it off and everybody was jumping. And when I saw it, I was just laughing. My wife said, it's a lie. I said, he wants to do good, but he doesn't understand the system is working in, that it will not work. Few months later, I heard the guy talking, and they were telling him, so you did something amazing recently. He said, well, after I made the announcement, when I left, my lawyer called me and said, I hope you know you have just put all of them in debt. I knew exactly that it cannot happen. You can't forgive student loan. It's not possible. It's not possible. You can't. Student loan is not, it's a demonic loan. You will pay till you die. He said, you have just put all of them in debt. Then you can't do that because you see, listen to me. I'll get to it. Capitalism is not done for salary earners. It's for investors and entrepreneurs. So when you say you are forgiving somebody's loan, if somebody is owing 150,000 and you a billionaire say you are forgiving that loan, that is not forgiveness because that means you are giving the person 150,000. Capitalism will count it as an income in that person's life because the person is not an entrepreneur. So that person will now be entitled to pay 40% capital gains tax on the 150 that was not there, that you now brought more trouble into their life. That for the next 5 years, I'm going to be available to meet with them every Thursday for 2 hours for the next 5 years. And I gave them a Zoom link. That for the next 5 years, I want to help all of them to become millionaires and billionaires. And he said, the first week, about 200 people showed up out of thousands. So the next week, 80 people showed up. The next week, 40 people showed up. He said, after a while, there were less than 20 people showing up for the knowledge that will have helped them. He said, after about 3 months, I had to shut it down because it was a waste of my time. Because spending 2 hours with them was me losing over 200,000 time. Because spending 2 hours with them was me losing over 200,000 just to sit down with them. And that's the real deal. Hello? So, the third thing I want to say about this children college stuff, please, I beg you. I am not against education. I've got 2 master's degrees, I've got 2 PhDs, so I'm not against education. But most of what people are calling education today is bondage. Many of you going to school now, you're just wasting your life away. I can tell you for free. With the advent of AI, 4th, 5th industrial revolution, all those courses you have studied, they're all useless courses. Or maybe you use it to come to Canada. That's the only benefit. Or that school you are going to is waste of your life. I can tell you for free. You may not agree. 4 years later, you will look back and say, it's true. Because over 80% of what you are taught in school is useless when you graduate. Any education you are going to now, that when you graduate, you still have to go and look for a job. You have not gone to school. You have only been, you have just wasted your life. And many parents today are spending their life sending 3, 4, 5 children to school, wasting money. They are not living their best life because of children. And because you are spending that much money on the children unconsciously, you expect a return on that investment. And that is what is causing trouble in marriages, mother-in-law problem. Why don't you have father-in-law problem? So parents are now expecting their children to become a retirement plan. Because all the labor we labored over you, we now expect you to return. And it doesn't work like that. That's why we are continuing this cycle of generational poverty. Because the next generation is being saddled with the responsibility of taking care of the previous generation. So they don't have the leverage for speed. So let me tell you for free. Sit down with your children. The education of the 21st century is learn to earn. The education of the 21st century is learn to impact. So anything your children are learning that they can't start earning on their own, waste of time. Any education they are getting that they can not start offering value to get a return, you're always seeing your life away. So sit down with your children now and ask them, what exactly do you want to do? What's your dream? So you are a steward of their grace. What do you want to do? What do you love to do? And then push them in that direction so that they'll go and study. So if you identify what they want to do, you push them in that direction. There are people that have gone to study medicine. Now they are fashion designers. Why waste that? You study architecture. Now you are a comedian. "22, do you own a house? Do you own a house?" Do you own a house? This issue of owning a house. I hear people say things like, houses are so expensive here. I said, do you own a house? I did not say, do you live in the house you own? Hello? If houses are expensive here, are there places where houses are cheap that you can buy and rent while you are still renting? So you can be renting in the city and also be renting out to somebody else somewhere. Because many of you, the money you have, you will have bought houses. But you are waiting in the city for the day you can afford the one in the city. And it does not work like that. Well, this is a free meeting, so there are some things we cannot go into. "23, do you have a plan to retire in comfort? Do you have a plan to retire in comfort? Because there are 3 inevitable R's in the life of every individual: resign, retrench, retire. One will happen. And one that is certain is retirement. Is there a plan? And please, let me help you again. I hope you also know that most of what you call pension scheme is a fraud. I hope you know. In case you don't know, just to tell you so that you go and study that one and come to the conclusion all the 401k is a fraud. Just don't fool yourself. By the time you are at that age, you will realize that all the money you think you have gathered cannot even take care of your medical bills. So you better put your retirement in your hand. 24, have you prepared your will? I hope you know that wills don't kill. If you don't determine where your money will go to, somebody else will determine it for you. So have you prepared your will? Once you have something to share. As a matter of fact, few things you should do. Once you hit 40, you should write down your will, prepare a will. You start annual medical checkup, because you don't need to wait until you are in trouble. There is hardly any sickness on earth today, cancer inclusive, that cannot be dealt with when caught early. Once you discover it early, they even cancer. But by the time they are discovering stage 3, even the supernatural needs the gift of faith. It's not just faith, it will require the gift of faith to make it happen. 25, are you in control of your financial future, or God is in control? Are you in control of your financial future? And finally, are you satisfied with the contribution you have made to the world? Are you satisfied with the contribution you have made to the world? Okay, so we're done. Now, I want you to count the number of no and I don't know that you have. Then I'll be back to give you the score. Count the number of no and I don't know that you have. Okay. So count the number of no and I don't know that you have. And then we'll go into the second session. So are you done? Okay, so let me give you the score. And then just write it down, then you score yourself. Have you finished counting? Count the number of no and I don't know that you have. And then I give. So if the number of no or I don't know you have is between 0 to 4, don't lift up your hand though. Just notice for yourself. If it's between 0 to 4, you are in good shape. Keep it up. If the number of no or I don't know is between 0 to 4, you are in good shape. Keep it up. If the number of no and I don't know is between 5 to 10, if the number of no and I don't know is between 5 to 10, you're on the right track. You just need to improve. You're on the right track. You just need to improve. If the number of no and I don't know is between 11 and 12, no and I don't know is between 11 and 12, you have a weak pulse, you need revival. You have a weak pulse, you need revival. If the number of no and I don't know is 13 and above, if the number of no and I don't know is 13 and above, you are not alive. You are only existing. You are existing, you are not alive. So you need a life. And I'm trusting that our session today will help you. So have you learned anything? Has that been helpful? Okay, session 1 done. Thank you. So for those that are just joining us, we have 3 sessions. 4th session has just been concluded. We're going to be going to the second session right now, and I'm going to be sharing from my new book, How to Create Wealth as a Career Person, the Intrapreneur's Guide to the Wealthy Place, which is one of the reasons for this global tour. And after the second session, which will take me another 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour. Then we'll go on a 15 minutes break. The purpose of the 15 minutes break is for you to stretch your leg, ease yourself, and then go and get the books and the materials so that I can sign and autograph for you. Then the final session, which will be a 40-minute session, will be Q&A. So if you have any question that you have before now, or any question that has come as a result of what I will share, just note it. I'm going to be able to see how far I can help you. So I have a lot of materials that will be a blessing to you. So make sure you invest. This meeting is free, but there are many things that can be shared that we don't have enough time for, because we need to be done in a maximum of 3 hours. So this is called the School of Money. How to make, manage, and multiply your money, the entrepreneur's blueprint. It's known as the Bible of Wealth Creation. It's a book that will help you. And then this is called The Pathway to Wealth. This is the first book I wrote to my primary constituency, The Pathway to Wealth, How to Be a Millionaire. It's a book that will also be a tremendous help to you. And then this one is called How to Create Wealth as a Career Person. It's the latest book that just came out this year. So I've written over 100 books. 58 of them are already published. And when it comes to the journey of my life, my ministry and my coaching and my speaking is all around relationship, finance, and leadership. So we have what we call the Wisdom for Singles Pack. This Wisdom for Singles Pack has 10 books for single people and 10 audio programs for single people. And then we have the Wisdom for Couples Pack. It's a USB, 10 books for married people and 10 audio programs for married people. So you can go there, get as many of these materials as you can. And then we have what we call the Wealth Creation Pack. This Wealth Creation Pack has the School of Money and the Pathway to Wealth and 26 audio programs on wealth creation. And then this is the latest pack. It's called the Wealth Creation Master Pack. I've written 7 books on finance and wealth creation. So all the 7 books are here, along with about 28 audio programs. So everything I've done on wealth creation is here. So once you get this one, you have gotten everything. So if you are getting this, the books are in there. School of Money is there. Pathway to Wealth is there. Bridging the Gap is there between the rich and the poor. How to create your success story is there. How to increase your value in the marketplace is there. 50 common money mistakes to avoid is there. Everything I've written on finance is in here. So get the materials. They will be a blessing to you. Okay, are we ready? Session 2. So I want to talk to you about wealth creation. Wealth creation. And my focus will be on one of the chapters on the 10 global facts about wealth creation. 10 global facts about wealth creation. But before dealing with those facts, let me give you 2 foundational things that I want to say. Number 1, principles are universal. Principles are universal. If you're a student of the Bible and you've gone to business school, gone to, done an MBA or done all kinds of stuff, you realize that everything they teach is from the Bible. The Bible has been there teaching for thousands of years. If you read books like The Richest Man in Babylon, a book that's over 100 years old, same thing. So the principles that will make you wealthy is the same anywhere in the world. It has nothing to do with whether you are in Nigeria or in Zimbabwe or you are in America. It has nothing to do with that. Principles are universal. We all know about the law of gravity. We know about different laws. Now, that law, that principle, that secret, that key is universal. It does not have anything to do with any other thing. Principles are universal. So when it comes to creating wealth, the principles for wealth, the principles, the keys, the secret to wealth is the same. Now, where we have issue is that in applying those principles, the application of principles are personal, contextual, and geographical. So you realize that many of us, when we're growing up, all the books we read about wealth creation were written by foreigners. And they were saying the same thing, but using different examples. So when you sit down in Nigeria as a young boy reading a book by a foreign author, and they are talking about counties and boroughs and mayor, you can't relate to what they are saying. They are telling you 401k, social security, mortgage, rental property, flipping, and you're like, you can't understand what they are saying. Why? Not because the principles they are sharing is wrong, but because the geography, the context, and their environment is different. So you don't have a lot of people that because they don't understand how these things work, you say, hey, all these people are just motivational speakers. Aspire to. All these things, they're just deceiving people. And it's because you don't understand that that's not true. Principles are universal, but the application of those principles are personal, contextual, and so when you identify a principle, e.g., the law of financial education is a global principle. The law of savings is a global principle. The law of investment, global principle. The law of asset acquisition, global principle. But now, when you want to apply that law, you now have to look at your own personal life and ask yourself, this principle now, how can I, Olumide, Oladapo, Olasumbo, Emmanuel, how can I apply this in my own life? Not in somebody else's life. Because in life, comparing themselves with themselves, measuring themselves with themselves, they are not wise. Nobody is your mate. We can be age mates, but we are not grace mates. We can be age mates, we are not wisdom mates. We can be age mates, we are not opportunity mates. Hello? So nobody is your mate. You are in a class all by yourself. And once you understand that, say, hey, my mate have made money. My mate are doing well. Your mate are also in the grave. So, personal. Number 2, contextual. You look at your context. Somebody is hearing me today now. You are young. You are in your teenage year. You are in your early 20s. You are different from somebody that is in their 50s now. Listen to me. Some of you are listening right now. You are not married. You are blessed. Somebody else have made the mistake. They are married with 4 children, wishing they were 2. Context. Hello? Then you look at your geography. You look at your geography. How can I apply this thing where I am in this my geography? Those are the reasons why many people think that there's one secret somewhere. Is because they don't know how to apply the principles to all these different areas of their life. So you need to understand that. And when you continue to learn, don't compare yourself with anybody. Look at your own personal life, your personal context, your geography, and do what needs to be done. With time, the result will show. Second thing I want to say as part of laying foundation is you need to understand your economic environment. You need to understand your economic environment. It's a problem with many of you. So, and whether you like it or not, if you like, vex. But let that vexation change you. Listen and listen well. In the world that we live in today, we have communist economic environments. We have socialist economic environments. We have capitalist economic environments. We have confused economic environments. We have fused economic environments. So, the problem is that many of us, when we're coming from a confused economic environment. So when we now came from a confused into a capitalist environment, we are still confused because we didn't understand that there's anything called economic environment. So when Asians and Jews come into the Western world, they come to start a business. When Africans come, we come to look for a job. And we pride ourselves in the arrogancy of our prison. Listen to me, in the rat race of life, even if you win the race, you are still a rat. To be arrogant that your prison cell has cable is an indictment against your level of intelligence. Whether your handcuff is made of gold, silver, or wood, handcuff is handcuff. So what's happening to many of you is that there is a golden handcuff in your hand. And especially when you start earning 6 figure, you become arrogant to the next level. Forgetting that 6 figure can end by somebody just saying, no more work. And you suddenly realize that in 90 days, nothing for you. Hello? So, understand your economic environment. So let me help you a little to understand you are in a capitalist environment. And in a capitalist environment, the capitalist system is... So, in your foolishness when you first came, because you thought it's free money, you were, swiping away your life. Now you have discovered that, if I knew what I know now, okay, now that you have made the mistake, start a business and let the business have a good credit and use the credit of the business to leverage the system while you are repairing your personal credit. That's $10,000 there, just like that. Okay, so let's go. So 10 global facts about wealth creation. Let me see if I can give you maybe 6 or 7. Number one, there is a wealthy place. There is a wealthy place. If you've listened to me, you realize that all I'm doing is trying to work on your mind. Because that's where the real deal is. So if you are thinking, I will tell you what to do. I'm just working on your mind. Once your mind is set to ever that's the software. Because poverty is a spirit. Poverty is a mindset. Poverty is an habit. Poverty is a lifestyle. Poverty is a state. 5 levels of poverty. They are all in the book. You can read it. So the problem is not the spirit. Get out in the name of Jesus. It's gone. But that's not how you become free. You know why? The real problem is the mindset of poverty. Because the ignorance is not a demon. You can't cast it out. So I can cast out the spirit. But that mindset, it can take 20 years. In one day, he set them free from Egypt. But it took him 40 years to take Egypt out of them. That's God, though. If God needed 40 years, how many years do I need? Hello? He delivered them from Egypt physically in one day. But to take Egypt out of them, 40 years journey. So it's that mindset that is the issue. Because you cannot pray your way out of a problem you behaved your way into. So coming to church thinking that one pastor will be a miracle worker to anoint you to prosper. Can I anoint you to be a medical doctor? Can I anoint you to be a pilot? So why do you now believe that I can anoint you to prosper? What verse of scripture validates that? Hey, but no, excuse me, sir, what God cannot do does not exist. Nothing's impossible with God. Okay, if nothing's impossible with God, rise up and begin to fly. I believe I can fly. You can't fly. Why? Because it is not in your creation. Hello? You can't fly. You can't. So number one, there is a wealthy place. Why am I explaining this? Because many of you believe that there is no money. And I keep asking. Nobody has been able to answer. You say there is no money. Where did the money go to, my brother? Did money travel? Did aliens take it away? There is nothing like there is no money. That's a lie. If you say, I don't have money, you are right. Or there is no money in my account, you are right. But to say there is no money is a lie. That's why, listen, I'm not against you relocating. But if you like, relocate to anywhere in the world. If you don't know what you are supposed to know, your suffering continues. When you land at the airport, the mindset followed you. You don't need visa to transfer mindset. No, if you be honest with yourself, you are in Canada now. Is it where? No, sincerely, is it where? You already thinking, I for stay. You already thinking, but you have sold everything. You can't even afford ticket to go back. Hello? Yes, you are looking good. Your body is fresh. It's a palliative. So number one is what? There's a wealthy place. There is a place. It's not a geographical location. It's a state in life that you get into where money is not your problem. Because money is nothing but a tool for the fulfillment of purpose. Do you know that there are people today that have so much money that they have to set up a foundation and employ hundreds of people to help them to be sharing the money? And they didn't steal the money. Everybody is not a thief. So there is a wealthy place. There are people today that don't know what poverty is. You have to explain to them what poverty is. They don't know what poverty is except the one they see in documentary of Africa that they package for them to say that everybody in Africa is living on the tree. Hello? So number one, there is what? There's a wealthy place. Number two, there is a path that leads to the wealthy place. There is a path that leads to the wealthy place. We all came from different geographical regions, but we are all in a physical address. The only reason why you found your way here is because you knew where here is and you navigated your way from your house to this place. So there is a wealthy place. The same way you found your way here, there is also a path that leads to that wealthy place. But guess what? Your path is not my path. I was listening to a clip, I think a few days ago, and a guy was giving some example that will best explain. Because the example I normally use is the one from my country. And in my country, they will say that on Okon Waja, one road does not lead to the market. The marketplace is there. But you find different people in the market that came from different places, but they're all in the market. So there is a wealthy place. Your part is not my part. Some of you, you will get to the wealthy place through inheritance. Your father will die, give you money, and then you are good. Some of you will get to the wealthy place through getting married to somebody that has money. And then you just discover that one day you are a nobody. 3 weeks later, you are a first lady. And then your story has changed. Some of you will just discover that platforms are open, opportunities are open. You have a talent, you go for a reality show, or you have a talent, somebody discovers you, and in less than 1 year, you are counting the kind of money you never thought you could count in your life. So some of you will have to go into a job, get a career, you get a good salary, you meet someone that helps you to invest, and before you know it, you are acquiring assets, and then you wake up 10 years later, and you're good. Some of you will start a business, your product will just do well. So everyone will get to the wealthy place once they know what to be done, but we cannot all get there through the same route. So trying to do what somebody else is doing, copying somebody, will not work. Hello? Because you see, fishes don't struggle to swim. Birds don't struggle to fly. You know why? They were created to be in that natural habitat. The day the fish says, I can do all things, what God cannot do does not exist. And then the fish say, I want to go and fly and come out of the water. That's the end of the fish. Because you need to understand that every truth, every revelation must be brought into your context. Which is the first thing I said. Principles are universal. Think about this. Because I hear, it's my life. Let me do me. It's my life. My life. Nobody should control my life. Let me ask you a question. I can love whoever I want to love. Nobody should control my life. So if a fish falls in love with a bird, where will they live? Because we say, be not unequally yoked. You are arguing, no problem, be yoked. You will tell me where you are going to live. Whether you will live in the air or you will live in water. Because as a pastor, the most terrible people to deal with are Christians. Very terrible people. But you know why it doesn't bother me? If you read the journey of God and the children of Israel, they will come, he will judge them, they will come back, we are sorry, he will forgive them, they will do the same thing again. Our hearts are being shattered continually. Look, I've pastored the same church for 20 years. By December, it's 29 years. There are still poor people in my church. You would think that the man a guru. Poor people food there. And then I go around the world. I know people that in 2 years their story have changed. 3 years, that 5 years. And it's like, and then I'm like, God, why is it not happening? Hello? Because when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. When something is easily accessible, when something becomes cheap and common. Hello? So, number one, there's a wealthy place. Number two, there's a path that leads to the wealthy place. So when you get the books, as well for one of the books is titled Pathway to Wealth. All the books shows you different things that will help you. Number three, wealth is created. Wealth is what? Created. You see, nobody wakes up and just suddenly discovers that they are wealthy. No. You have to create. Somebody has to take responsibility in their life or their family to create the wealth. That's why it is called wealth creation. I hope you know that people don't investigate the source of your poverty. But once you start making money, everybody wants to find out, how does she make money? What she do? They want to investigate the source of your poverty. But nobody investigates the source of your poverty. Why? It's your responsibility to do that. It is your responsibility to sit down and ask yourself, why was my grandfather poor? Why was my father poor? Why was my grandmother poor? It's your responsibility. Because many times you just say, it is well. It's not well, no. No, it doesn't just happen like that. Your grandfather was poor. Your father was poor. And then you just expect that you will not be poor. No. You need to find out, because life is lived forward or understood backward. Where your ancestors has failed you, you cannot afford to fail your descendants. The fact that you came from a broken home doesn't mean a broken home must come from you. But if a broken home will not come from you, you must find out why the home broke. And don't listen to what your mother told you or what your father told you. Investigate the two of them and find out what mistake did they do or make, and then identify. So if your grandfather was poor, your father was poor, sit down, ask the question, Why were these people poor? What are the habits and the traits that you see? How can you change it? Because listen, church people, hey, religion is more dangerous than the devil. Church can ruin your life. I'm telling you for free. Christianity is not a religion. It's a relationship with your Creator. Hello? So ask the question. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why did that happen? Why did that happen? Because most of what you are calling a generational curse is a generational choice. It's not a curse. It's a generational choice. It's a choice. Your grandfather made the choice. Your father made the same choice. Hello? Your grandfather was in railway. Your father was in Nigeria Airways. Then you joined NIPOS. Because they tell you, just get a job. And then when you get a job, you earn salary. You go to school, get good grades, get a job, earn salary, you retire, and you collect pension. It's the same program, the same software, the same assembly line. So, please, understand these things. Wealth is created. So you must sit down and tell yourself, I refuse to be poor. I refuse to follow any evil pattern. It's not about, every altar at my father's house. What created the altar? Altars are built by mindset. Mindset are built by beliefs and action. So that thing you are calling altar is not by what produced the altar. If you put down the altar, which one are you replacing it with? Hello? So you tell yourself, I refuse. And then you start doing the right thing. Because many of you now, you have 3-4 assets. And then very soon they will tell you that one is expired. There's now, the next one has come up. You go and be buying. And therefore, they say they are doing sales. They did Christmas sale, you fell for it. They did Valentine, you fell. They will do Easter, you will fall. Then they will do spring, they will do Black Friday, they will do summer, they will do, before you know it, your life is just a roller coaster of consumer behavior. And let me tell you, you don't realize that there are people that sit down in a boardroom using algorithm to study your life. And they are just studying your behavior and just producing something to come and meet your desire. And because of your low self-esteem and inferiority complex and identity crisis, they create products to make you feel good about yourself because you already feeling good. And then they continue. Haven't you ever... Look, by October now, you will begin to see 2025. They will start releasing 2025 cars in October. How that means they are already telling you this is what you must do next year. We are programming your life. No, I don't mean to be sarcastic. I don't mean to, but think about, do you know that 50 years ago, you would not think of putting eyelashes on your face or fixing nails? It was never, even when we were growing up, wigs were for old women. Our grandmother were the one wearing wigs. But all of you now, somewhere along the line, you just became acclimatized. Now you fix eyelashes, fix nails, fix everything, and you're not fixing your finances. And you know the amazing thing? I don't know, because me, I don't know. They will now say, it's because of my husband. It's a lie. Because many of the husbands don't like it. It's true. Have you seen the way some people look? I have members, my own member. When I see them on social media, I'm looking, this face looks familiar, but I can't trace it. I'm like, this face looks familiar. So I'll say, babe, this person looks like, I say, but she's not, it's Photoshop. It looks funny. I'm like, what is wrong with us? Hello? Wealth is created. Number 4, you have to become wealthy to attract wealth. You have to become wealthy to attract wealth. You have to become rich to attract riches. So most of the challenges you are facing in life that you call challenge, they are actually the becoming of you. Hello? They are what? The becoming. Because many of you, the version of you that exists right now cannot handle wealth. Another version of you have to exist. In order for that version of you to exist, you have to go through a process, and the process is not palatable. So let me go to Bible again, even though it's not a Christian program. Listen. Listen, please listen to this. He said, the branch in me that beareth not fruit, I cut it. He said, the one that bears fruit, I prune it. Cutting and pruning is the same experience. Hello? It's the same experience. It's the purpose that is different. When an armed robber cuts you with knife, or a surgeon cuts you with knife, it's the same experience. But one is cutting to kill, another one is cutting to heal. So cutting to cut away, cutting to prune is the same experience. So many of the things you are going through that you are angry, God is making you. That's why you lost that money, because, listen to me, you can never make money if you have never lost money. Anybody that tells you they have rich, they have never lost money, they are lying. They are not rich. Because you don't become rich by not losing money. You must know what it means to lose in millions to become a millionaire. You must know what it means to lose in billions to become a billionaire. Why? Because if you are going to really become rich, you must be able to let go of everything you have and start afresh and regain it again. That's why many of you see, look, if you know what church is doing for many of you, you will be grateful to church. Because listen to me, you can never be rich if you are not a giver. One of the things that giving does, giving proves to God that you love him. It proves to the devil that you have overcome the spirit of greed. Giving elevates you to a level where you can walk away from things, because whatever you cannot walk away from, you have not conquered. So when you are arguing with 10%, I already know you are a fool and you can't be rich. You know why? And the government is collecting 30, you will miss it and you end up in jail. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So many of you, when I see, I say, these people don't understand. They don't understand. So you have to become wealthy to attract wealth. And that becoming is a process. So let me help somebody here. I'm trying to control myself because I operate in the prophetic. And when the thing wants to flow, I have to say, no, the spirit of the prophet is this is not the church program. But let me tell you something. You see, when you go through life, so that because somebody is going through that right now, you go through life. Let's say school. Let me use the academic session. When you go through, let's say you start from elementary school, and maybe they are doing like annual, tests, and then you go. For you to leave that elementary school to now go to maybe like an high school or secondary school, you need to now go through what is like an external exam that is bigger than those ones you have been doing. And then you move up and start at number 1 again. But that number 1 is not the number 1. You started in class 1, now you are in class 1 again. But this class 1 now is in high. Then you do the same thing. Then for you to leave that high school to go to college or university, you do another major 1 again. And then you go again and start from year 1 again. That's the way life is. In order for you to become rich, when you start making money, whatever you are making, so let's start with thousands. When you start making thousands of dollars, in order for you to leave that realm of thousands of dollars, number 1, you must start giving in thousands. That it becomes normal, that giving thousands is nothing to you. That's how fast you live. So all those ones you are finding difficult to give in thousands, you are only delaying yourself in the same classroom. Number 2, you must be ready to invest in thousands to live the realm of thousands. Number 3, you must be ready to lose money in thousands. So once you have passed the test of giving in thousands, investing in thousands, losing in thousands, then you go to hundreds of thousands. Then you must also be ready to enter hundreds of thousands trouble. Where sometimes the money you gather for 7 years will go in 7 days. And you will feel that there is no God. You will feel that the village people are caught up with you. No, it's the making of you. Because there are realms you need to get to where you will need to risk higher to go higher. So when you see rich people, you say, oh, they lost the billion in 1 day. And you're like, how can somebody lose this money in 1 day? And they are okay. Hello? I've lost money before. I lost 123,000 pounds in one deal. And we're having lunch with my friends and we're just discussing. And the guys were like, sorry, is it true? I said, so I told that one has gone. So they're like, how? That if I lose that money, I will die. I said, that's why you don't have that money. I said, no. I said, you see, those are the making. It's not that it's not painful. But you see, we don't lose money, we pay school fees. We don't lose money, we pay school fees. It's an expensive school fees. But you see, when you see it as loss, you will not learn any lesson. Because your emotion will overcloud your memory. But when you see it as school fees, you will sit down and learn. Every money I've lost, I've made me a better consultant. Because when I'm charging you 50,000 pounds, I charge you, I give you invoice, I collect the money with my full chest. Because when I start talking about, when I did this deal, I lost 120,000 pounds, you will know that the man talking, if you ask, no, you will listen. You will listen. But, generals are known by their scars, not their uniform. Hello? Anybody can wear the uniform. But the difference will be clear. So number 1 is what? Number 2? Number 3? Number 4. Number 5, wealth creation takes time. Wealth creation takes time. So all this get rich quick scheme will skin you alive. Wealth creation does what? It takes time. Anything meaningful takes time to be built. In this world, well, let me say, in this kingdom, we don't blow, we grow. We don't blow, we grow. If you grow up, you will stay up. If you jump up, you will come down. Anything that blows, scatters and disintegrates. Balloons blow, bombs blow. We pick up their fragments. Hello? That's the mystery behind the first Adam and the last Adam. The first Adam woke up one day, full-grown man, from day one. And God said, no, we have to do it a second way. So the last Adam, he said, you will enter Bele, put him inside the womb of a woman. He went through the process, and then they pushed him out. And then he was poo-pooing, wearing diaper, they were spanking him. He grew in wisdom, in knowledge, in stature. He grew. And then he learned obedience by the things he suffered. That's why it's called the last Adam. So you need to understand that in this wealth creation thing, it takes time. I was interviewed by US media last week. Yeah, a little over a week ago. And they asked me a question. When did you make your first $1 million? And I said, well, I know you people, you like people that tell lies and give you all kinds of funny story. I said, me, I've never made $1 million before once. So, but we checked you out, you are worth over $10 million. I said, well, I don't know who is counting. I said, because I know what I have that you don't know. It's the one that you know that you know. So I said, listen, the highest money I have ever made once that came like this is $350,000. So I did not make $1 million in one day in a deal. I said, all I did was to practice what I knew to be true. So I started buying properties. I buy land. I write books. I invest in this company. I do this, I do that. I said, and over time, I woke up one day and discovered that, wow. So the person said, hey, in the US, sir, you're trying to be humble because in the US, we have done our research. We know you have this. He was telling me millions of. I said, all those millions you are talking about, I am telling you, I'm the owner of the house. Yeah, you the one. All those houses, the highest money I paid for one is $20-something thousand. You are saying the house is worth 400. No problem. You can multiply the 400 by all the sometimes be talking million. No problem. That is the value in the market. But that's not what I paid. I said because I bought them between 2008 and 2011 when the global recession was on. And they were all bought auctions. I was just buying and buying and buying. 1, 2, 3, 4. By the time we counted, we were bought 40 something. I said, so you can look now. I said, but 2008, where are we now? I said, of course, it will go back to normal so you can be counting millions. Hello? In 2001, I bought 50 acres. In 2003, I bought 100 acres of land. In 2005, I bought 200 acres. In 2007, I bought another 70 acres. I kept buying and buying and buying. And one day, I realized I have thousands of acres. I realized I have multiple millions of pounds of dollars of real estate. But how many of you wait for 23 years? Hello? So the land I bought in 2001, this 2024, 23 years. How many of you wait? Some of you were not born 23 years ago. Hello? So wealth creation does what? It takes time. You see all this greed and covetousness, all this get-rich-quick scheme. You want to do crypto. You want to do forex. No problem, oh. No problem. There's nothing wrong, oh. Just do it. It's okay. But be ready to do the losses when it comes. Don't cry to anybody. You want to graduate in January, get a job in February, buy a car in March, marry in April, become a father in May, and become a billionaire in June. So wealth creation does what? It takes time. Just be faithful and focused. Just be doing it. $1,000 here, $3,000 here, $5,000 here. Just be doing it. By the time you look back 10 years later, you'll be amazed at what you have built. You'll be amazed. So I have to keep doing this so that I can enter into your system. So number one, there is a wealthy place. Number 2, there's a part that leads to the wealthy place. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6, there are ingredients for wealth creation. There are ingredients for wealth creation. Now, the ingredients of wealth creation are what we call the laws of wealth creation, the principles of wealth creation, the keys of wealth creation. Those are the ingredients. And when it comes to the ingredients of wealth creation, few things I want to say. Number 1, some of them are caught, not taught. Some of them, nobody will teach you. You may not have access to it in the book, access to it in the relationship, but with observation, you just realize that I think this is the way to go. Because before there was any school, people were learning. So the way to learn is emulation and observation. There is a spirit in man, the inspiration of the Lord gives them understanding. So you learn by observation, you learn by inspiration, you learn by emulation. So, very, very important. Another thing about the laws is that you have to keep learning. There's no graduation in the school of money. The day you stop learning, you start dying. So there's no graduation. There's no way you will get to where you say you don't need to learn anymore. As I'm here now, I'm still learning every day. Why? The game is the same, but the rules keep changing. There are things that used to work before COVID that does not work anymore. There are things that were not existing before COVID, now is existing. Do you know how many people contacted us for this meeting and say, is there a virtual version? Nobody will ask that question in 2018. Whether there is virtual. I still got a message today. Hey, I hear you're going to be in Toronto. Is there a link? How can I join? I say it's purely physical. There's no link. Nobody will ask that question in 2018. But today now, everybody is thinking of staying in their house and joining everything from the comfort of their home. And we're talking about all kinds of stuff now. Virtual work, virtual this, virtual that. So, let me go deeper on this issue of ingredients. Because ingredients are laws, they are principles. So you can get all books all over the world that will give you all kinds of principles. But listen, if you experience a nice meal and you love the meal, and then you want to reproduce the meal, there are people that, by virtue of experience, training, giftings, they can reproduce the meal without anybody teaching them. They can just look at it and say, I think, they can taste it and say, I taste garlic. They can just, you just wonder, how did you get there? People like that. But some people are not like that. So if you now have a chef, and you say, please, can you give me the recipe for this particular meal? The chef can give you the recipe. But that still does not mean you can prepare the meal. But some people with that recipe, they are good. Then, if the chef is good, he can now create like a cookbook. Tell you what to do when you get this, you do this, 5 minutes here, at this temperature. Some people with that one, they are good. Some people, even with that one, they are still not good. Because there are people that have cookbook and they still cannot cook. Then, but there's another level. The chef can say, no, come to my kitchen. Let me show you how it's done. And then you go under the mentorship of the chef. And the chef will show you, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do that. And you have a better chance. But some people can still go through that one and still not be able to cook. Because when you are inside that incubation room, are you attentive to what is being done? Are you observant? And are you asking the right question? And are you documenting what you are getting? Those are things that will determine what happens. Many of you stayed in the kitchen with your mother. But while you were in the kitchen, you were hungry. It's only me. Every time, Shade. Oh, the boys are watching TV. And so you were not even learning anything. Now, you can't cook. Even though your mother was the best cook in the world, you learned nothing, even though you were in the kitchen with her. Because if you are in the kitchen, what you do determines what comes out. Because when your mom was turning the pestle anti-clockwise, you should have asked, Mom, why are you doing it anti-clockwise and not clockwise? There is a technology to that. But our parents did not document technology. So many of us, we lost it. When they want to test, they put it here. You didn't ask, why here, why not here? It's a technology. It's a technology. You did not ask. They were cooking and they will tell you, don't cover it, oh. Don't cover it, oh. You didn't ask, why can't I cover it? Now, it's a technology. But now you now cook, you now cover it. You now wonder why it didn't come out. That don't cover it that they told you. Did you find out why? And another one, they will say, don't open it. Oh, cover it. Keep it covered. Don't open it yet. Keep it covered. Why? So there are ingredients. And I talk about mentorship. This is where mentorship comes in again. You need to have people in your life that can guide you on your journey. Because let me tell you something. There are books you will read, events you will go to, things you will learn. You apply it because there is no book in this world. There is no school in this world that you will go to that will teach you practical. After you have finished school, you will still have to face practical life. And anybody will tell you, business plan does not go as planned. Business plan does not go as planned. Projections does not go as projected. So when we sit down as, venture capitalists, as investors, and young guys are coming, sir, I just saw that you are just sitting there. They say we are wicked. So all these rich people, they are wicked. We are not wicked. We are principled. Because we have seen, when you are talking, we see ourselves in you. So we just plan. So we did this now. So do you have a proof of concept? Yes, sir. In fact, in the last 6 months, 70 people are bought. And those 70 people is your neighbor, your cousin, your mother, your friend, people that are bought out of obligation. You don't have any customer, but you say you have proof of concept. And that proof of concept is fake. Because everybody that bought from you just have to buy once. They are not coming back. Because you were troubling them. I help my dream now, help my destiny now. Be my destiny helper. So all of them bought, church member bought, head usher bought, everybody bought, pastor bought. You now brought that as proof of concept. And then you now projected. So every month we are looking at 100 customers per month. And then with that, we'll make this money. Then in 1 year, this is the turnover. And then when you start, 1 month, no customer. You projected 100. Second month, 1. Third month, 6. Fourth month, no customer. Reality has come. That's why the graph is like this. But if you are not an entrepreneur, by the third month, you give up and say village people have caught up with you. Whereas entrepreneurs know that the turbulence is not hindering the journey as long as the compass is working. So, okay, let me give you one more. So, there are ingredients for wealth creation. Number 7, there are vehicles for wealth creation. There are vehicles for wealth creation. I was in Dallas last week. So I've been on tour. This is like my 1, 2, 3. This is my 5th city in the last 2 weeks. I was in Calgary yesterday, so I'm leaving again, going. So I've been moving. So I was in Dallas last week. I was in Atlanta. From Atlanta, I went to Ohio to Maryland to Dallas. When I was in Atlanta, one of my guys was there with me because we're going back to Atlanta now for a major conference. And then he told me we'll be in Dallas also. So when I was leaving Maryland, I called him to say, hey, you say you'll be in Dallas. Have you booked hotel so that you can be in the same hotel? He said, I booked hotel. I said, when is your flight? He said, no, I'm driving. I said, you are driving. So in my brain, I don't know. I said, America, Atlanta to Dallas. That would be, I said, like how many hours? Like 12. I was flying. So listen. If someone is flying from one country to the other, somebody else decides to drive from one country to the other, somebody else decides to trek or walk from one country to the other, who will get there first? The person that is flying. It has nothing to do with prayer. It has nothing to do with holiness. It has nothing to do with your spiritual status. It has nothing to do with whether there are demons in your family. The principles of life are not religious. They are creative. Listen to me. There is a difference between the person of Jesus and the principles of Jesus. God is, even the atheist was created by God. Hello? So the principles of God are created as a creator. So because he's a creator, he established principles for the perpetuation of his creation. And those principles have nothing to do with redemption. It's a different track. That is why all the rich people that you know are not born again, but they are rich. The principles they are using to create their riches is the same principles that the Creator established. Hello? That's what we call the principles of Jesus. That's what governs the creation of God. So whether you are born again or not, if you breathe in and breathe out, you will live. Whether you are born again or not, if you sleep with a woman over a period of time, there will be pregnancy. Hello? It's not about anything, it's just the law. Hello? So once you have the understanding of these things, it will go a long way helping you. So when we talk about wealth creation, there are vehicles. So listen to this. As long as you are a salary earner and you are depending on your salary to become wealthy, you are trekking. Are you getting now? You are trekking. So when we are talking of salary, we are just trying to tell you, why are you trekking when you can buy a ticket? My first trip to the US was in 2001. By 2002, I started speaking for a lot of top guys in the US. Then I had a friend that I met at a book conference because I was an author since 1990. My first book came out in 1990. My first two books, 1990. So I've been an author forever. So as an author, you are an authority to a level. So we met at the book conference. And this guy became my friend. And this guy introduced me to all the top guys in the US. So I was preaching for all these guys. I was on TBN, 2001, 2000. I was too big. People were just looking, who is this guy? I was doing singles everywhere. But guess what? So I go to this guy's church. I'm coming from Nigeria. I'm thinking naira to dollar. I'm calculating every money I'm making to go and settle things at home. So I come to this guy's church. I speak and they give me money. And when I'm done, I'm moving to the next city. And they take me to Union Station in New York to go and enter a bus called Greyhound Bus. So I do Greyhound Bus and I go to Washington. I do 4 hours, $20. So the guys, we just now think of it. You are in a church, 700 people. They bring a guest minister. The man preaches everywhere, rocks. And then when it's time for the man to go, protocol officer comes to his hotel and takes him to bus stop. They're like, we can't reconcile this. It's like, is it not the man? Why? So the guy, the thing got back to them. I said, do you know that this man, every time we go to drop him, he's always at the bus stop. We go to Union Station, and then the man is buying ticket and queuing. So the guy calls me and says, man of God, what's happening? I said, what? So you're a powerful preacher. You're good, man. You're good, man. And then he said, boy, you go to, so why can't you fly? I said, fly? It's expensive. I said, it's expensive. I said, no, I enjoy it. I said, the boss has toilet inside. Though. They even have television inside. I enjoy it. He said, no, you can fly, man. Why? Because me, I was calculating the money. And then the guy said something that changed my life. He said, no. He said, I've watched you. You are very organized. You're very articulate. You plan in advance. I don't even know how you do it. He said, you already know when next you're coming. He said, do you know that if you buy your ticket in advance, it will be the same cost as the bus you are buying? I said, He said, yeah. And I said, wow. Then I tried it and it was true. The cost of flying was the same if you do it in advance. And that's how I stopped entering Greyhound and I started flying. So listen to me. I hope the same thing will happen to you. Nobody is saying no more, but you see all the salary you are taking, you are trekking. And that same energy you are putting into trekking, it can make you fly. If you put the same energy in your own entrepreneurial journey. The problem is always, what if it doesn't work? What if it works? What if it works? So, there are 4 things to think about when it comes to the ingredients. If you're a salary earner and you are depending on salary alone, you are trekking. But instead of trekking, consider these 4 things. Number 1, entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. I'm hosting a conference in Atlanta this week, Friday and Saturday. It's 2 days fully residential. It's $3,000. I'm not saying it so that you can register. The registration is closed already. So I'm just telling you because I'm going somewhere. Now, one of the things I'm going to be teaching them this week, or we are going to be teaching them because someone else is on franchising. So we're going to be having 3 hours of franchising masterclass. We're going to be looking at loads of franchising in 16 industries that you can plug into with $10,000 up to $1 million. I have 3 people that are part of my network that owns franchises. There's not enough time to tell you the stories. But entrepreneurship is one thing that will help you. But it's when it comes to entrepreneurship, you don't even need to start the business. You can leverage on an existing business through franchise. Number 2 is money markets, capital markets, everything put together. Mutual fund, fixed deposit, treasury bills, bonds, all kinds of financial opportunities that you can plug into. Number 3 is intellectual properties. Creating something that belongs to you. Something that will be your own brainchild. Something that comes out of you. So let me help you. Almost everybody drinks water every day. Almost all of you have water in your house that you buy. Almost all of you use tissue paper. Almost all of you use soap. But you have never thought of starting and creating that. And if I tell you, why are you not producing water here? Why are you not producing tissue paper? Why are you not producing soap? The first thing you tell me, you have to be regulated. You have never even tried it. You just concluded that it can't be done. Do you know how many eggs people eat every day? And you have not thought of starting something down. So start thinking of what you can do with your mind that people can begin to pay you for. Hello? Because one of the things that has, well, number 4, real estate. Let me come back to that when I talk. Number 4, real estate. I can go on and on and on about real estate, but giving real estate information for free, it is well. Real estate. So I want to close with this. Let me try to talk to us about the importance of collaboration for wealth creation. Let me close with that. Collaboration for wealth creation. You can get all the other details in the book. I said earlier on that Jews and Asians, when they come into the Western world, they come to start a business. When Africans come into the Western world, we come to look for a job. One of the things that you will learn from Jews, Asians, and people of different, community from us is that they collaborate. There are things that you need to go learn from these guys. Number 1, when these guys leave their country, they don't leave their culture behind. They move with their culture. And when they come into the Western world, they keep their culture within the Western world. They understand kingdom culture. So they carry the culture with them. But when we leave our own country, we insult our country. We curse our country. We insult our culture. And then when our children now become acculturized to the geography of our culture, we now begin to pray that God will deliver them from what we put them into. Hello? So they travel with their culture. So you find that when you see Jews, you see Asians, their children still speak their language. In their community, they speak their language. They still worship in their temple. But I don't go to church. I don't have time for this church. No problem. Just they play. The day your daughter now comes and say, Mom, I'm gay. Mom, I love Cynthia. You now begin to look for pastor to pray. Me? Forget it. Those who are not me, I don't know. I don't have time for. The day your son will now tell you, Mom, I think I was born to be an animal. And now I think I want to be a tiger. Then you now begin to remember that there is a culture that you have abandoned. Hello? Because the way people talk bad about Nigeria, I wonder who did this to you? The same Nigeria that produced you? Nigeria is now a bad country. And you are in a country where somebody else built. You left your own, you are cursing it. And you are wondering why your children don't want to go back. When in the car, you are talking evil of Nigeria. On the dining room, evil of Nigeria. Everything you talk Nigeria, you are bad. You just talk. And you wonder. So there is community. They collaborate. But when you come to our community, we are still going around with this Lalukman and Sons, Uchendu and Sons mindset. I don't trust anybody. I don't do anything with Nigerians. And you don't know that that's an indictment against you. At 25, a quarter of a century of your life, you say you don't trust anybody. At 35, at 40, you don't. So you spend 40 years of your life and you don't have 10 meaningful relationships. You don't know you should be locked up somewhere. Are you trustworthy? If you believe you are, how come you don't have 9 other people like you? No, think of it, because when people make those statements, I just laugh. I laugh. You don't trust anybody. And then once we leave here, hey, my G, my guy, we'll go watch ball now. We'll go there. And they are your G to watch football, but they are not your G to put money together to invest. Stupid relationship. You are wearing uniform together to go to party. You are going to club, but you can't come together and put 1,000 together to invest. Stupid relationship. Collaboration for wealth creation. It is better to own 10% of a billion than to own 100% of 1,000. So if there's anything you need to begin to do now, leave this place. Look for 9 other people to join you. 10 of you come together, create a wealth creation network. I have testimonies to this effect in all over the world. So it's not anything, I know what I'm talking about. If you start putting 1,000 together every month, that's 10,000. In a year, it's 120,000. I can tell you what to do with it. In 10 years, all of you will be counting money. It will seem as if you are into or something else. If you can do 10,000 a year, that's 100,000. And in 10 years, you'll be amazed at what will have happened in the life of many of you. But you now, instead of you to do that, no, my money. And then you keep the money and then phone calls will come. And then you send money to people that are doing better than you. And then you now be angry that they have houses and you are not having a house. It's because you don't have something to do with money. That's why they were able to get money off you. Hello? Well, I hope with these few points of mine, I've been able to convince you, not confused, that you can create wealth. Yeah. So we're going to go on 20 minutes break of 15 minutes break. Yeah, I think we have, like 18 minutes. So by 8:15, we'll come for the final session. Now, this break, go and get the book. Like this one, Pathway to Wealth, I think we have only 3 copies or so. We don't have much. So the earlier you go there, some of them will be exhausted. And this one is called School of Money. And then How to Create Wealth as a Career Person. Then this is the Master Pack, the Wealth Creation Master Pack. And when you go there with Prosperity Mind. My products are not cheap. So you go there, you pay, but they come with money back guarantee. So go get the materials. I'll be here. If you want me to autograph for you, I'll autograph for you. If you have any question, please get a piece of paper, guys. We can give people a piece of paper. Write down the question. We're not giving microphone to anybody because we need to manage time. Most of the time, people will just be talking, so that we can manage time and get as many questions as possible because we need to be done by 9 marks. So if you have any question, write it down, begin to bring it so that by the time we come back, we'll answer the question. So thank you. 8:15. I'll see you. God bless you. 3 minutes more, please, so that we can have enough time for questions. Let's start coming in. If you are not buying materials, please come in now. Okay, let's come together. We have lost about 6 minutes. And so let's do 30 minutes of Q&A. If you're outside, please come in now. I'll do the autograph again after the event. I'll stay behind for like 20 minutes to do that. So let's stop. Let's work with what we have. Okay. Please, those that are outside should come in, or you help us close the door to avoid distraction. Okay, let's go. So it says, what are some good business ideas to start that don't require too much capital? In this book, The School of Money, I have an entire chapter, and I explained and listed out over 200 of them, and they are global. When it comes to wealth creation, there are 17 industries that are global industries that anybody that invests in any of those 17 industries will do well if they do it right. And in each of those industries, there are 7 channels, and all those are documented in the book. Because you see, when you ask questions, because of my training as a financial consultant, as a psychologist, there is no one size fits all. There are uniqueness to everyone's journey. And that's why I said at the beginning, principles are universal, but the application of those principles. Because the easiest thing you can do is to just be a middleman. You don't need money to be a middleman. Connecting needs to the market, and that's it. So there's so much that can be done that you don't really require money. But when you have the knowledge, you can identify those things on your own, depending on your geography. Are there any books you've written that speak about biblical principles of wealth creation? Yeah, that's what this one is all about. Pathway to Wealth. This is my first book. This one is primarily to the church. So in here, I spoke about what I was talking about, the person of Jesus, the principles of Jesus. I spoke about the physical principles of wealth and the spiritual principles of wealth. Because many people have issues with the spiritual. I spoke about the supernatural. How that the super will be super without the natural will be natural without the super. But the combination of the super and the natural is what produces the supernatural. So I spoke about that. And then I spoke about all the covenant obligation, first fruit, tithe, everything, and why you should do it and what it means for us as New Testament believers. Everything is there. Okay, what do you say to people who think that paying tithe is no longer required as it's not in the New Testament? I think they just don't have understanding. That's all. I don't believe that anybody has any problem with loving God or giving. And sincerely, if you listen to everyone that has ever spoken about tithing, they are not speaking against giving. Have you noticed that? Nobody says you cannot prosper without giving. So nobody is against giving. And most of the time, the people that speak against tithing are not actually speaking against tithing. They are speaking against their experience with men and their experience with church, not their experience with God. Because the church has not represented God well in the communication of biblical truths. Most of the time, we communicate truths based on our culture and our experience instead of giving people truth based on scripture. And that's what is causing the confusion. So nobody is against giving. There's nobody that is against giving. It's lack of understanding. And once, because see, I can tell you, I've been in church for 38 years. I can tell you for free, about 70% or more of churches in the world today have never done any teaching on tithing. And every Sunday they are asking for tithe and offering. So how do you expect people to respond to what they don't understand? Because you just assume that everybody understands. It's that lack of understanding that has left gaps for confusion. Nobody hates God. Everybody knows that God, everything. Because it's the same people you are saying that are not paying tithe, they are ready to give the money to charity. It's not tithe that is the problem. It's not giving that is the problem. It's the pastor that they don't trust. It's the church that they don't trust because the church has not explained to them. Because we make everything look mysterious. So my message to the people will be for them to do their own study. So I've been in sessions where people say they don't believe in tithing. I don't argue with people. If you don't believe in tithing, do you believe in giving? So give. Okay, we have this project. Give. You'll be shocked that people that don't believe in tithing are giving 30% of their income to projects. So let's leave the nomenclature and teach people stewardship. Everything you have belongs to God. Why are we so fixated on 10%? Everything you have belongs to God. And if anybody that tells you that they are New Testament Christians and they don't believe in tithing, no problem. The New Testament one is even better. Bring everything you have. Because in the New Testament, everybody brought everything they have. So it's actually 100%. So really, let's not create problem where there is none. I have to use my savings to survive when I was unemployed. Now that I have a job, what is the fastest way to rebuild my savings to better than what it was? There is no fastest way. Just do it the way. Why do we look for fastest way? You saved. You lost your job. The savings saved you. Now you have a job. Just save again the way you saved. There is no fastest way. Just do it. Repeat the system. The system is just do it. You can't be looking for fastest way. It's that fastest way that will make you to go and be looking for something that will not steal your money away. Follow the normal progression. What advice can you give to a youth, student, entrepreneur into braiding hair business in terms of collaboration, learning, having a mentor, etc.? Should I go to a business school? Not necessarily. You may need to, but maybe not now because like you said, you are still a student, you are still a youth. So what I will advise is, let's look at collaboration. You need to apply the principle of network marketing and referrals to increase your market. So anyone that is your customer, let them know that if they introduce other customers to you, they will get a referral bonus. And that makes all of them to become your marketers. So they can help you in that way. Now, when it comes to the aspect of learning, you see, in business, look for people that are doing what you want to do. Let them mentor you. Every mentorship does not have to be about paying because some mentorship is expensive. Start with the free one that is easily accessible to you. Start with what we call the low-hanging fruit. People that are wiser than you, more experienced than you in the path that you want to tow, and then they'll be able to help you. And then when it comes to the issue of saying you want to go to business school, start with the online one that is free. There are a lot of certification courses, a lot of top universities in the world, even Harvard and Yale, Oxford, they are doing a lot of certifications online. Google is doing, they are doing all kinds of, so start with that online certifications that are free or that are not too expensive instead of having to physically go lock yourself up in a place. What are some real estate opportunities available that don't require huge capital or huge amount of money? Like opportunities that university graduate can take advantage of. I don't know whether you're talking of in Nigeria or here. But anywhere in the world, the first thing that you need for any aspect of life is knowledge. So I'll advise you to start finding out what are the cheap, low-hanging fruits of real estate opportunities where you are geographically. Are there locations where you can buy lands and you can keep them for a while? Land banking is a global thing you can do. Most of the time, we're always locked up in the city mindset. And like I say, a city today was a village yesterday. A village today will be a city tomorrow. So don't wait to be a part of the city. Go outside of the city. Because any city in the world, any location between 30 minutes to 1 hour driving distance of that city will be a part of the city in a maximum of 15 years. And you still have 15 years ahead of you. So just go look for somewhere and buy something and buy the future now because the future is cheap if you buy it now. And if you are talking of Nigeria, I will still recommend land banking. Nigeria, there are a lot of psychological markets in Nigeria. So there are places that people buy into because of the mindset. Oh, I want to go to Lekki. There just Beju Lekki now is Ekpe. So you can ride the psychological wave because the money is real, even though the market is psychological. So you can buy into that, do land banking, and then buy it and leave it there. 5 years later, you can now begin to think of what to do with that. But if you want to invest in Nigeria, be sure that you have a stake in Nigeria and be sure that you are using the right set of people. Because the reason why a lot of people have been defrauded is because just as we have irresponsible organizations, we also have irresponsible investors that are not ready to do their due diligence. So we tell people investigate before you invest. They send you a form, you did not read it, you signed, and now you are complaining that you didn't see it. And they didn't want to read the form to you. So many times some investors are just irresponsible and mentally lazy, and they're not ready to do what they're supposed to do. So that will help. I own a rental property and it is currently not cash flowing. Would you recommend cutting my loss or continue to maintain the property with my employment income? Now, it depends on a lot of factors. These are where mentorship comes in. Because of this question now, they are not questions. They are consultancy. Counseling is free. Consultancy attracts a fee. Where there is a voice, there is an invoice. So, you have a rental property, it is not presently occupied. I don't have a full understanding of all the laws of the land because I don't live here. But if you cannot rent out the property to someone, you can put it on Airbnb and use it for short lets. If you cannot work, you can rent it as individual rooms to more than just one person. So everybody rents a room and then it becomes a co-ownership, co-living space. Do you understand? So before you let go, explore opportunities and possibilities. And this is where collaboration also comes in. There are lots of people that are in the same place where you are saying you don't have tenants, that have people coming to them over and over again. So try and find out from people around, maybe people that are doing Airbnb, if they have requests for days that they are not available, that they can push to you. So just think through all this to see how it can help you. Then when you say, do you count your losses? It depends on how you bought the property and whether you have the money to pay and whether the property is also appreciated. You need to look at the return on investment and the appreciation, the percentage appreciation of the property per annum vis-a-vis what you are paying. Because I always advise people, when you are going into any property, especially when you are using the mortgage system, I advise people to make sure that you have at least 6 months mortgage. Because life happens. Sometimes it's a boiler problem. Sometimes it's a pipe burst. Sometimes it's something, the person lost their job, you are in court. So you still need to have like 6 months of the mortgage in cash so that even if there is no tenant, you weather that season. It's when you are living month to month that you now enter into trouble. So if you know that you are still within that limit, because within 6 months, if you get the right counsel, you can always turn things around. So that would be my take on that. What can we Nigerians in diaspora especially do in order to build trust and collaboration for the common good? You don't need to do anything, just use what is existing. The problem is that many of you left Nigeria where there is no justice. You are now in a system where there is justice, you are still thinking like a Nigerian. That's the problem. Wise people are not trustworthy. Nobody is trustworthy. It's law that keeps people trustworthy. Legality. So that's the problem. You are here now, you still don't believe in the law that is working. Look, let me tell you something. There is no normal person on earth. Human beings are animals. We are just higher animals. Many of you are here now, but you are not civilized. You think you are, but you are not. Since you have been here now, you have not gone through one way. You have not gone against traffic. You have never went down to throw trash out of the window. But if you get to Lagos tomorrow, you will do it. Why? You are not normal. It's the system. It's the system that curtails your animal self. That same system is why the law works. So if you have any group of people you want to collaborate, don't collaborate with my brother, my sister, and we're in the same church, we are in the same, we come from the same village. There is nothing like that. Handshake has expired. You come, get a lawyer, you do a documentation, and then what do you do? These are the way anybody that break the law, they go to jail, they go there. Nothing like sorry. You know why the law is working? Everybody in the system has concluded that if the law catches you, will sacrifice you to keep the status quo. That's why a whole president can be in courts. That's to show that nobody is above the law. But in Africa, there are people above the law. So when you now come here, you still think with that kind of mind. No. Anybody want to collaborate, you don't even need to know them. You buy tickets, you pay for hotel. Do you know the owner of the hotel? But you are paying. And you just sign online and you put your credit details. Why are you sure that they are not going to defraud you? It's because you know the law works. That's the same thing you used to hold your brother together. So even if it's the same father, the same mother, you sign document, they go to jail, correct? That's the way it's going to work. So, start. You mentioned something about Forex and crypto. Are you saying it is bad? That is get-rich-quick scheme? No. People are doing the content and making a living from it. Is it gambling? How can one go about it if interested? How can one? So, no, I'm not saying, I'm just saying I'm not doing. I didn't say don't do. If you want to do. It's not a problem. Because at my age, I've tried a lot of things, and now I found out what works. So there's no point. But if you are young, you can try it, So the day Elon Musk wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you can decide to change your destiny. So I love physical money. I don't like spirit money. So there's nothing wrong, please. There's nothing wrong. If that's what you want to do, feel free. Then how can one save effectively? Just as simple as automating the savings and making a minimum of 10% of your income your savings. So as you are doing 10% tithe, do 10% savings. As simple as that. And you'll be good. Good news, sir. The Bible said that the borrower is a servant to the lender. So should we be avoiding debt for this reason? Thank you, sir. The Bible didn't say that. You are the one that believe that. Because what you have just quoted now is a verse of scripture from a chapter. A chapter from a book. Have you read your book? You have picked a verse of scripture out of context. The same Bible that says the borrower is servant today is the same Bible that says go borrow vessel. Empty vessel, not a few. Jesus Christ said, oh yeah, borrow me your boat. He borrowed the same Jesus. He said, go, you will see a upper room. When you get there, tell the man, we want to use it. He said, you will go. So the same Jesus was a borrower. Hello, the same Jesus told him, I said, couldn't you have put my money in the bank so that my coming I will have it with interest? Don't let religion ruin you. So, when you say the servant is a borrower, there's good debt and there's bad debt. Good debt is a leverage. Bad debt is a bondage. So when the Bible is talking about that debt, it's talking about bad debt. When you borrow money to eat, borrow money to buy shoe, borrow money to do party, borrow money to do burial. So money that you borrow for liability is a bad debt to owe your neck. But when you have good debts, they will be praying for you to live long. When you have good debts, they will be celebrating you because without you, they are not alive. And in a credit society, you are actually very powerful when you understand how to use it. Is going into the marketplace to do business considered ministry? Is there a scriptural reference? As a matter of fact, that is actually ministry. Every other thing you are calling ministry is not ministry. Is that marketplace that is ministry? He said you are the salt of where? Not the salt of the church. You are the light of what? Not the light of the church. All the things you are doing in church is not ministry. Hello, that's one you are calling marketplace and secular. That is the ministry. What is ministry? Ministry is service. Serving your generation with your gift. That's all. Everything that God has put in you, use it to serve you. That's ministry. So let me now show you where the problem came from. Ephesians chapter 4. So write it down, go and do your research and fact check it. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 1 and 2 shows you ministry. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 9 to 14 shows you church. So in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 1 and 2, the Bible says that I beseech you, I challenge you, I encourage you that you should walk worthy of the vocation wherewith you are called. So that's your vocation, is your ministry. You are a teacher, you are a doctor, you are a nurse, you are a lawyer. That's your ministry. That's where real ministry takes place. So everyone should walk worthy on the path that God has put them on. So we call it the 9 to 5 ministry. Because there's nothing called secular. There's nothing called spiritual. It's part of the principle of capitalism to keep the church powerless and irrelevant. That's why they do what they call separation of church and state. There's nothing like that. It's an error. Because if you go to your Bible, you will see inside your Bible, the Lord is our judge. The Lord is our king. The Lord is our lawgiver. The 3 tiers of government come from inside the Bible. The word church is not a spiritual language. The word church is the word ecclesia, is the senate, those that have been called out to represent different people group. That's what it's called church. It's religious people that want to ruin your life that is making you make it religion. No. So now, when you now come into the kingdom and you understand what you are called to do, when we gather on Sunday, Jesus did not die to give you a religion. When we gather on Sunday morning, it's a gathering of captains of industry, a gathering of leaders of spheres of influence, a gathering of kingdom ambassadors coming to be refired, to be re-energized, to be sent back to the assignment post. So the church is a place where we raise, empower, and release people to go and fulfill ministry. You don't do ministry in church, you do ministry outside church. So it's called the 9 to 5 ministry. So what now happens is, when you understand that, when you now come down, you will now see what the 5-fold ministry, which is the one that is confusing people, what it means. It now says, Among those people, in verse 1 and 2, he now gave some to be apostles. Some is a part of a whole. Some to be apostles. That means all of us are called. But all of us cannot be driving the car. Somebody can drive, all of us will sit down. But we are all going to different things. So he now said, let's choose some people. Let us choose those that will be focusing on prayer and the study of the word, while other people will be serving. So he said, we now choose apostle, prophet, pastors, teacher, evangelists. And the job of this some is to equip the saints for the work of ministry. So we are to equip you to go and do the work of ministry. But people now come to church, they say they are doing ministry. Do you understand that now? So it's just to have the balance, and it will help us. Money, wealth, relationship. Do they have a common ground? It seems like you can only have one of them, not all of them. Why? I don't know why you think so, but you can have everything. Maybe not at the same time, but you can have everything. Because Jesus did not die so that you can have half-life. He died for you to have abundant life. So learning all these things, where is the place of destiny? Destined to be rich or destined to be poor? Men create their destinies. Hello, men create their destiny. For those he foreknow, he predestinated. Those he predestinated, he called. Those he called, he justified. Those he justified, he will glorify. So everybody on earth has a glorious destiny. But they decide either to enter into the destiny or not. When Jesus died, he died for the whole world. So the entire world is predestined to be saved. There's vacancy for them in heaven. But they will not go to heaven because they will choose not to receive Jesus. They will now go to hell. Hello? So everybody is predestined for heaven. The blood that was shed was not shed for few. It was shed for everybody. So everybody has been predestined to end up in heaven. But not everybody will end up there. Because not everybody will pay the price to enter into their destiny. Everybody can be rich, but not everybody will be rich. Because the poor you will have with you always. Because there will be people that will never choose to do what they need to do to become rich. Hello? What advice do you have for bivocational pastor planning to go into full-time ministry? Well, I will first ask him, what is full-time ministry? That's the question I will ask him, because I don't know what is the definition of full-time, because most of the time it's full-time foolishness. And then you say you are going to full-time ministry. So, I'm a full-time pastor. I'm into full-time ministry. But what is full-time ministry? Full-time ministry means that ministry should be your primary assignment, not your only assignment. That's what it means. So if your definition of full-time ministry is that you should abandon everything and be sitting for people's tithe and offering, I don't know who sent you a message, because you don't go into full-time until your hands are full. Because I don't know how you will come to Canada, gather 16 people, jobless. You are not saying you are a full-time pastor, you are waiting for people to go and work, gather money, give it to me, pay you salary, pay your mortgage. You will end up in frustration, you will become a liar, you will become a thief, or you will end up blaming village people. Hello? Please think about it. If man never fell, if there was no fall of man, there will be no need for redemption. So are you saying God will not create humanity? There is a reason for your creation. Hello? So you cannot just limit yourself to, you are waiting. No. So when you say you are a full-time pastor, it means that God has called you, make this your primary assignment. But why that is a primary assignment, there are other secondary things you can be doing. And there will now come a time when the work will have to occupy you full-time. At that time, the work can be able to pay you full-time also. So let's just understand that balance. Okay. We have a flyer, brochure that was given to you. Let me just run through some of the opportunities there. And then if you would like to take advantage of them, you can now see me. I'll just stay for another 20 minutes after the event to see people that want to invest. So we have what we call the diaspora plot promo. We have lands for sale in Nigeria. So if you want to invest in lands in Nigeria, you can invest and buy land or houses through us. So we have plots of land we are selling in Nigeria. The diaspora plot promo is a product we created for diasporians. And what we did was we put a section of our estate aside where people can buy a plot of land. Then we also fence the land. So the diaspora plot promo are $10,000 each, US dollars each in 5 estate locations: Ikorodu, Ofada, Aton, Ota, Uyo, and Abuja. And the money covers for the plot of land, covers for the documentation, covers for developmental levy and the fencing of the plots. So the land will be fenced and kept for you. And if you want to build and develop that land within 2 years, we will also do architectural design for you free and supervise the building for you free of charge. So that's that. Number 2, we have apartments for sale that you can, we have 2 fully furnished apartments that you can buy and move in or buy and use for short let. We also have 2-bedroom unit, 12 units of 2-bedroom apartment. We have just 3 units more. We've sold what we need to sell. We have just 3 more to go. So you can buy that also, 2-bedroom luxury apartment. And then we have service plots and short let apartments. If you are coming to Nigeria or you know anyone coming to Nigeria, you need a place to stay. We have that. And then we also have car hire services. With police escort, we can pick you up with Mopo with gun from airport to your village. So you are secured. Then we also have houses for sale in the US. Presently in Detroit, we have a lot of houses that are available that you can buy. They are $90,000 each. 9 of you can come together with $10,000 each and buy one. It's no mortgage. You buy outrightly and you get as much. Minimum, you get $1,000 every month. And that's good. So, if you need more information on that, you can then contact. And then finally, the Billionaires Conclave mentorship platform. I have 2 kinds of mentorship that I operate. Number 1, free mentorship. Because I'm a pastor and I believe that we should do everything we can to help people. So I'm available to help people. So if you need guidance in any area of life, send us an email, send us a message. We'll reply you and then we'll give you guidance in the best that we can. But once the guidance crosses from guidance and counseling into consultancy, we'll send you an invoice. It will attract a fee. But the best way to get the best out of what we do is to be a part of the Billionaires Conclave. So the Billionaires Conclave is a network of high net worth individuals, families, and organizations under my mentorship. We are members in 14 countries all over the world. And when you become a part of that, then you have access to all the grace that is available and all the assets that is available within the network. So there are 3 ways to be a part of that. So we're giving you a card, message, and email away. And then if I see your missed call, I'll call you back. And then I'll be able to help you in any way. Anything you need me to help you with that I cannot help you with, I'll pull on my network to see those that can help make it happen. Number 2, we have 3 masterclass sessions that we do online. So every year, we're able to do that together 3 times a year. We sit down together, and then I share stuff with you, and then you're able to answer questions. Then, number 3, we have what we call the Conclave Summit. So every year, as a member, you have free attendance to our 2-day fully residential Conclave Summit. And the Conclave Summit takes place in 3 different locations: Nigeria, Europe, and North America. So you can come to Nigeria, 2 days fully residential, you attend it free. It's part of the money you are paid. If you are in North America, you come to the venue. So for instance, I'm going back on Thursday now. Friday and Saturday, all the members that did not come from Nigeria that want to come to America, they'll be there, and other people. That event alone is $3,000. This 2 days event is $3,000. But if you are a member, you are coming free of charge. So are you seeing the benefits? So the $3,000 is really, those that are not members, they are paying $3,000 for a conference that people are coming for free because they are already members. So that's what we get. Then in the UK, what we do, so for instance now, for North America now, 2024 is in Atlanta, 2025 is in Houston, 2026 is here in Toronto. So we'll do 2 years in America, 1 year, and that's also that members can now have opportunity to also travel around. And then in the UK, 2024 is in Preston, England. 2025 is in London. 2026 is in Paris, France. So that people can have option to travel around in Nigeria. So you get that also. So those are all the things you get for the money. What's the difference between individual, couples, and corporate? Individuals, you come. Couples, 2 of you have access to everything. And then for the corporate organization, your company is under the mentorship also. So I'm able to help you with my experience in business engineering and business profitability and helping in staff training, consulting, and all those stuff. And then with $10,000 every year, you get access to that. So if you're interested in any of this, I'll be available to meet with you after now, and then we'll take you from there. So I think we're done. So how many of you enjoyed yourself today? You enjoyed it? Okay, thank you. So will you want us to do it again? Okay, so let's see what happens. Maybe we'll come back again in August and do another free events. So thank you very much. I want to especially appreciate the man of God and the entire church. Thank you, sir. Epic, thank you for they gave us this facility free of charge to host you. So thank you. We appreciate you for that. So before you leave, make sure you network. Let's spend the next 7 minutes network. Get to meet someone you don't know before. Get the book, I'll autograph for you. And then if you want to do any of the real estate stuff or you want to do the mentorship, come and see me now. Let's talk business. God bless you. Bye-bye.